Breaking news at 10 o'clock. One woman was shot inside a movie theater in Renton, and the suspect took off.
The shooting happened just after 8 tonight at the Landing near the Renton Boeing plant. King 5's Heather Graff joins us live with what she's learned so far. Heather?
A very scary night for people at the Regal Cinemas here in Renton, where it appears an accidental shooting has sent a woman to the hospital in critical condition. Now, if you take a look at the front of the movie theater just behind me, you can see that at least part of the theater remains taped off at this hour. But we should point out, we've seen people sort of casually walking out over the last couple of hours as their movies come to an end. And most of them told us they really had no idea that a shooting had even taken place here. Now, we're told this all happened shortly after 8 p.m. That's when police say a man who appeared to be intoxicated entered the theater where the movie 13 Hours was playing. They say he was apparently fumbling with his gun, and that is when the weapon accidentally discharged. Police tell us one woman was shot inside that theater. She was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, and though it appears the shooting was accidental, it was still a very scary scene as it was all unfolding. Here's how witnesses described it.
I walked out in the lobby, and there's a whole bunch of kind of clothes and kind of blood and stuff scattered all over the place, and asked what happened. And I was told that there was a shooting and that apparently they didn't get the guy.
And as you take a look again at the entrance to the Regal Cinemas, the police shooting investigation continues inside, and what you heard from that witness is correct. Police tell us that after that accidental shooting took place, the man took off, and so right now they are still looking for him. Now, this theater does have a lot of surveillance cameras, so police believe they did catch this guy's photo on camera. They told us they might be releasing those images a little bit later this evening. Of course, as soon as we get them, we will pass them along to you. That is the very latest live tonight from Renton. Heather Graff, King 5 News.
Thank you, Heather, and we'll continue to update this breaking news story throughout the broadcast as we learn more about what happened.
Where police just gave us an update on this shooting at the movie theater here at the Landing. Within just the last half hour, detectives told us that they were able to take the gunman into custody. They say he actually called police shortly after the shooting and shortly after he left the movie theater. He told them that he was inside. He'd bought a ticket and was inside watching the movie 13 Hours. He told police he'd been drinking and he was fumbling with his gun inside the theater when the weapon accidentally discharged and the woman sitting in front of him was shot in the torso. That woman was rushed to Harborview Medical Center, and we've learned she's been upgraded to stable condition. So a little bit of good news now in what was a very scary night at the Regal Cinemas here in Renton. And even if this shooting was accidental, police say the gunman could still face some very serious charges. We'll have the very latest coming up for you tonight at 11. For now, we're live in Renton. Heather Graff, King 5 News.
Now to the latest on breaking news in Renton. A woman shot at the Landing Regal Cinemas movie theater. Police tell us a man who appeared to be intoxicated in the theater fumbled with his gun and may have accidentally had it go off.
A woman inside was shot in the torso and rushed to Harborview, and we just learned she's in critical condition. Police told us a few minutes ago the suspect called them and turned himself in.
When the officers arrived, they found a woman inside the theater. She had been shot in the torso. We've got some pretty fast video of the suspect and had a pretty good description of him right away, but we did not have him in custody. Here in just the last few minutes, that person, who's a Newcastle resident, called 911 to report that he had been in the theater and that he had dropped his gun and it had gone off.
And back to live pictures now. We have also learned the suspect dropped the gun in a restaurant after the shooting. The theater allowed patrons watching other movies to stay until they ended, and we just talked to some of them.
I'm surprised they just didn't tell us anything.
Yeah, I mean, at least I would think that they wouldn't want people to panic, so they don't want to obviously make a big scene of something if it's not something that everyone should be worried about, but they should at least tell people what's going on. I mean, I don't know.
Crazy, you know, just weird to think about.
What happened was 13 Hours, the secret soldiers of Benghazi.